Welcome back to the deep dive. So if you own a home or you're managing a property, you know the HVAC system is kind of the unsung hero.
Right. Until it stops working, of course.
Exactly. And today we're going to try and cut through some of that complexity and get really strategic about it. I mean, everyone gets the basics, but what does a modern, uh, truly reliable service provider actually give you beyond just, fixing a leak?
That is the core question, isn't it? Because when you look at a comprehensive service list, like the one we're digging into today from Envirotech Heating and Cooling in Bradenton, Florida, you see the difference.
What's the difference?
It's a difference between a simple handyman and, well, a strategic asset manager for your home. It's not just about repair. It's about managing comfort over the long haul.
Absolutely. So that's our mission today. We're taking a deep dive into what they offer to pull out those crucial nuggets of knowledge, the things that separate routine maintenance from really a proactive property strategy.
Yeah, helping you demand efficiency and get the most out of your system for years to come.
And what stands out to you right away from this source material?
Well, the clarity of their core promise. They get right to it. Certified technicians, proven results, dependable service. They're promising comfort that's also efficient and affordable.
Okay, so let's unpack that because this isn't just one thing. We're looking at the whole spectrum here from the panic button when things break down all the way to high-tech installations.
And you need that full spectrum. You can't manage a system well if your provider only knows one piece of the puzzle. It confirms that being reliable means mastering both the emergency fix and the forward-thinking plan.
So let's start with that panic button, the safety net, because nothing gets your attention faster, especially in a place like Florida, than a system breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
The source promises fast, professional HVAC repair services, whether it's the AC failing in July or, the furnace during that one cold week in January.
And they mentioned the ultimate reassurance, which is really non-negotiable for a top-tier provider.
204/7 emergency service.
Yeah.
But a quick response is one thing. Simply showing up fast isn't really enough, is it? The source says technicians are trained to diagnose problems accurately and fix them the right way.
And that word accuracy is so important. That's where the real value is.
What does that mean in, dollars and cents for you as the homeowner?
It means you avoid the Band-Aid fix.
Yeah.
That is probably the most common money pit in HVAC.
The Band-Aid fix.
Yeah. A technician rushes, treats a symptom, say they replace a small part that failed, but they miss the underlying electrical issue that caused it to fail.
So the system is just going to break again.
Within weeks, probably. And you pay twice. You suffer through the heat twice. Accurate diagnosis is about peace of mind, sure, but it's also a guarantee against repeat failures and paying for the same problem over and over.
That makes perfect sense. It's insurance against downtime and even secondary damage like mold in a humid climate if the AC is out for too long.
Precisely. It moves the conversation from just speed to actual measurable expertise.
Okay, so let's shift gears completely. Let's move from reacting to an emergency to planning so you can avoid that call in the first place.
This is where it gets strategic.
Right. How does the source material handle new systems? This is where you're making a big investment for the future. We're moving from triage to foundational planning.
These are completely different kinds of investments.
Yeah.
They dictate how your home performs for the next, 10, 15 years?
The provider details new construction installation first. And this isn't just, sticking a unit on the side of a house.
Not at all.
It's the whole package, ductwork design, thermostats, sizing the units correctly, all of it designed for long-term performance.
And that word, design, is key. In new construction, the biggest point of failure is often a poor installation, not the equipment itself.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. You can have a brand new, super efficient system, but if the ductwork is leaky or poorly sized, you just threw all that efficiency out the window. It's wasted energy from day one.
So the goal is comfort, durability, and cost savings right from the start. But what about existing homes? The source also talks about system change-out services.
Right. And this is for older systems that are just huge energy hogs, the ones that waste energy and often break down when you need them most.
That decision to replace a system can be tough. It's a big upfront cost. So how do you know when to repair that 12-year-old unit one more time versus just committing to a change-out?
It really comes down to an ROI calculation. Once a unit gets to be about 10 or 15 years old, its efficiency drops, and the repair costs start to skyrocket.
So by replacing it, you're getting lower bills, better air quality.
Instantly, you're getting lower operational costs, and depending on the climate, And in a place like Bradenton, that's a high-demand cooling climate. The savings can be huge.
How huge? Can we put a number on that?
You could be looking at savings of 30, maybe even 50% on the cooling portion of your utility bill. That massive drop means the new system can often pay for itself in, say, 7 to 10 years. And the source talks about a simple and stress-free process. The provider handles everything. They're selling you convenience, but also a really clear financial return.
That seamless process is key. It's not a small repair. It's basically a mini construction project in your home.
Exactly. And that kind of strategic planning often leads people to more specialized tech, which brings us to the next thing the source highlights.
Mitsubishi mini split systems.
Yep.
Okay, so mini splits. For a while, these felt kind of niche, but now they seem to be everywhere. Why are ductless systems so important, and what makes them so different?
They're a major technological jump. They solve problems that traditional central air just can't handle easily. Think about a new addition to a house or a garage conversion.
Or an old house where you can't install ducts.
Exactly. You can't, or it would be incredibly expensive. Since they're ductless, you immediately eliminate all that energy loss from leaky ducts in a hot attic. That's a huge efficiency win right there.
It has to be. But what's the main feature here?
The source points to zoned cooling and heating. So, unlike a central system that blasts cold air through the whole house, mini splits let you control the temperature in each room, each zone.
So you're only using energy where you actually need it.
Precisely. You can keep the living room cool, but turn off the unit in the guest bedroom that no one's using. It's personalized climate management. You're controlling energy room by room.
And they're quiet, right? The source mentions quiet operation.
Very quiet. That's a byproduct of the technology they use, which is called an inverter compressor. It doesn't just slam on and off like a traditional system. It modulates its speed.
So it just kind of hums along at the level it needs to.
Exactly, which uses way less energy and makes a lot less noise.
Okay, so this sounds like the ultimate solution, but what are the downsides? I mean, beyond the initial cost, what do you need to know?
Well, the main things are aesthetics. You have a unit mounted on the wall in each room, and the maintenance. Instead of one central filter to change, you might have 4 smaller units, and each one has a filter and a coil that needs to be kept clean. It's a targeted solution, but it requires a slightly different maintenance mindset from the homeowner.
That makes sense. It's moving from basic climate control to bespoke climate management.
That's a great way to put it.
And that brings us perfectly to the long game, because even the most advanced system needs care. So let's talk about maintenance, which the source calls preventative maintenance and precision tune-ups.
This is, hands down, the most underrated service, but it's also the most valuable.
Why is that?
Because a system that's properly maintained is the only way you actually get the efficiency you paid for. If you don't maintain it, you're just setting yourself up for higher bills and a system that dies way too soon.
Okay, so let's get into the details. The source lists 4 main pillars of a tune-up. What are they, and why do they matter so much?
Okay, the 4 are checking air filters, cleaning coils, testing refrigerant levels, and adjusting thermostats.
Filters first. Everyone knows you're supposed to change your filter, but why is it so critical?
Because a dirty filter chokes the system, it restricts airflow. When that happens, the indoor coil can actually freeze over into a block of ice.
Wow.
And then the unit struggles, runs constantly, and your bill goes through the roof. A clean filter is the easiest way to keep it running efficiently and prevent major damage.
Okay, number 2. Cleaning coils. Why is that a big deal?
Because the coils are where the heat transfer happens. The source emphasizes this because even a super thin layer of dust on the outdoor coil acts like a blanket.
An insulator.
Exactly. It prevents the system from getting rid of the heat it pulled out of your house. And the efficiency drop is stunning. Studies show that a dirty coil can increase your cooling costs by up to 20%.
20%? That is a massive difference on a utility bill. Okay, next up, refrigerant levels. This sounds pretty technical.
It is. Refrigerant is the lifeblood. If the level is too low or even too high, the system just can't transfer heat properly. The compressor is forced to work way harder, which severely shortens its lifespan.
So a technician is checking to make sure that charge is perfect.
They're optimizing it to make sure you're getting maximum efficiency and not slowly destroying the most expensive part of your system.
And finally, adjusting thermostats. That sounds like the simplest one.
It's about calibration. An old thermostat might be off by a few degrees, so if it says 75, but it's really 72 in the house, your system is running for no reason, wasting energy.
So when you put all 4 of those things together,
You are directly reducing breakdowns, extending the life of your equipment, and making sure you're not paying more than you have to for energy. That is the tangible ROI of maintenance.
So we've really covered the whole spectrum today, from the 247 emergency repair button to these cutting-edge mini splits and the strategic annual maintenance.
And I think the big takeaway is that a reliable provider isn't just selling fixes. They're selling long-term cost management. They offer solutions that elevate your comfort and your energy efficiency through these tailored, proactive services.
And if you're looking to get that full spectrum of service, the contact info in the source material is the phone number, 941-355-3832, and the email is admin@eacare.com.
If we connect this all to the bigger picture, it really suggests that HVAC is no longer a set-it-and-forget-it utility. It's an active system that you have to manage. And through these regular tune-ups, focusing on those simple things like coils and filters, you're directly controlling one of your biggest household expenses, which raises a question, I think.
Go on.
When we talk about home comfort, are we really just talking about managing technology for cost savings? And if a simple coil cleaning can save you 20% on your bill, what other critical systems in your home are operating at a massive efficiency loss just because they haven't been tuned up?
That's a great question. Something to think about the next time you're changing that air filter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fascinating. Until the next deep dive.